Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Quarbit and welcome back for some more EU4 nation speedforming. Today we're going to be going through a couple of smaller nations which don't take as long to form, just like with our first speedforming minis. By the way, we hit 25k a little bit ago, but you know what's cooler than 25k? 26k. So if you're one of the people that hasn't subscribed to the channel yet, I recommend going ahead and doing so, and clicking the bell notification to make sure you don't miss another video. And if we could get this video in particular to 1,000 likes, that would be perfect. Today we'll be covering 3 or 4 nations, and we'll start off by forming Bukhara as Uzbek. Bukhara is probably one of the easiest formables in the game, and that's probably because they're not very interesting. All you have to do is take one province from Transoxiana and embrace feudalism, and well, you're basically good to go. It is kind of an interesting formable because this changes you from a horde into a monarchy, and it changes your tech group and gives you a new government form and all that. But you don't get any new missions, and you don't get any new ideas, so it's not really the most interesting formable nation. Either way, we can start off by dealing with the tribes, and for that I will be getting a little bit of manpower, share the spoils, and greater autonomy. We have one objective, which is just to take this one province, and that should be done as early as possible if we can. So I've set up my rivals, and let's get started. One thing I obviously want is a very healthy ratio of cavalry, so I'm going to actually sell a couple of titles to start off with. Then I'll put all my states onto increased enlistment, just in case I need the manpower, and we'll be ready to declare pretty much immediately. Alright, let's hope for a good general. Hey, not bad actually. And, okay, well, that's convenient I guess. I was going to say, I don't really care whether or not we attack before Shah Rukh dies, but then, you know, he died. So, I guess I'll just wait for the Independence War. Yeah, I'd say it's about a good enough time to get started. The cavalry should be good enough to win just about every battle. Now the real problem comes with the fact that I don't generate a lot of, points and all that, and since I do eventually need feudalism, it seems like I'm going to need, well, more, and rip. This should give me the superiority I need. So this event, which people usually sort of overlook since it's not usually that important, will actually play a pretty important role in how we develop the institution, because I'm thinking that I might want to move my capital to here if I can get an additional 15% cost decrease. And using my handy-dandy development chart here, I can see that 18 is one of the better numbers to start at for developing an institution. So yeah, I'm gonna do this. And there goes the capital. So this is probably as much war score as I'm gonna get out of this, which is about equivalent to this much land. So I got the one province, which I needed obviously, but the thing is, you don't actually need to have 0 overextension to form Bukhara. So if I want to, say, raise this province, I don't actually have to core it. Same thing for this one. This one I do obviously have to core because I needed it to be my capital, so we'll do that. But the rest of these points will probably just go directly into institutions, and I just won't core those other 2. To develop the institution, I'll move my capital over to here, which is pretty much the same in terms of the terrain and all that, but this province has an extra minus 15% because of that one event, and 18 is also a better number to start with than 12 in terms of development. I'm not sure if it's 215 points worth, but the extra 15% does make it worth it in this case. So let's do it. I can also put on the edict, and that makes it significantly cheaper to develop. So let's get started. Well, we're about halfway there at least. Actually, I just realized something else which might make it go even faster. Actually, if I do core up these provinces, I might be able to embrace the institution because, as it turns out, they already have them. So I'll give that a shot as well. So if I turn this into an actual full core state, and I decrease these autonomies, we do get pretty close to embracing. I think if I were to go up here and unstate a couple things, that might make it closer actually. So if you state a little bit down here and unstate half your country, I guess you don't have to dev. On the downside, well, you unstate half your country. But since this is a speed forming, I guess it doesn't matter that much. There we go, now we're able to form Bukhara. Not gonna lie, it is a pretty nice map color, although I don't know why you would ever form this nation. Since, I mean, you just turned yourself from a horde into like a monarchy, which is kind of a downgrade in a way. But there you go, you can do it in like 6 years, maybe even less if you decided to core far before I decided that I should've. For nation number... wow, okay, that was inconvenient. For nation number 2 on our list today, let's go with forming Pomerania as Volgast. Forming Pomerania is extremely easy, and even more so if you're playing as Volgast. Unless Stettin gets a couple of alliances, it's really doable within like a year or 2. So let's build up a couple of men and let's get started. We'll start off by allying up with Brandenburg, who will hopefully help me out a little bit if I need it. And then of course we'll go with our spy network. Our estates don't matter too much today, but I'll go ahead and grab ourselves a couple of things to make each of them happy. I don't want to rival anyone else just yet, because I want to see what alliances Stettin is going to go for, and other than that, I think we're good to go. I'm just going to need to grab that one claim, and then we'll be on our way. Actually, I removed these 2 infantry over here, and I think I'm going to build galleys instead. It probably won't be that long of a run, but just in case. Actually, hold on a second. Funny enough, this is far easier than I thought it would be. Okay, neither our king nor heir are particularly good, but I'll just go with the king to make this siege be a little bit faster. But here's sort of the deal. I don't actually need a CB to invade Stettin, because I have this diplomatic insult, which means I don't need to have claims in order to take land. Add this to the list of CBs you never thought you'd see someone use. And I could use a little bit more money as well. And I can do a sort of kind of exploit that isn't really an exploit. So I've already occupied this, but since, you know, technically Brandenburg does want this, then I can call him in on the promise of land. But I've also marked this as vital interest, so he has no connection to this, and I'm just not obligated to give him anything in this case. He'll still join though, which is pretty cool. Now go, kill Ingolstadt or something. Okay, there goes the capital. They won't accept surrender yet, so let me take a small trip down to here. Yep, that'll just about do it. And now we can annex Stettin. And since I don't have to core any of these provinces, I can just form Pomerania. And just like that, in 19 months we can form Pomerania. Definitely one of the easiest ones in the game. The next nation we have on our list today is Silesia. There are many ways to form Silesia if you really want to. Either you can start off as one of the vassals under Bohemia, or you can just play as Bohemia, annex your subjects, and then culture swap. But I find it far easier to play as one of the subjects because there's a lot of stability involved with the other method. So our goal as Apollo is very simple here. All we have to do is be independent and grab 2 provinces. Considering the numerous tags which despise Bohemia, this can't be that hard. So we'll start off by improving relations with Brandenburg and building ourselves a spy network. I can also give the estates a couple of things, I guess. And let's hope for a good general. Not bad. And our king's not as good, so we'll just use him. Let's build up a little bit bigger, and let's focus on mill. I'll probably also want to grab a stability cost modifier dude. So on paper, these guys don't really seem too hard, but one of the problems is that Bohemia's, well, much larger than we are. And I might be able to get a couple of people to help with my independence, but ultimately we're looking at maybe like 1, since Hungary still has a truce with Bohemia. Looks like Denmark doesn't realize that he actually would be able to reach if, you know, Brandenburg joins the war, so we might not be able to bring in Denmark, unfortunately. Oh well. Well, it was worth a shot. Let's just get started. I'll start off by scorching my own province over here to try to bait him into the highlands. Works like a charm. Yeah, that was a fairly decent battle. Clean stack wipe is what I like to see. And I'm not exactly sure why, but for some reason I'm allowed to cross this fort, so, well, I guess I'm the AI today. And you just have to play these little back and forth battles a little bit slowly. My capital has 50% fort defense because I got an event for it, so we just have to go and take out the little stacks every now and then. Looks like we've already run out of money, so it's time for even more loans. We just have to play these little games of attrition every now and then, and eventually you'll end up dealing more casualties to your enemies than they can inflict on you. Sometimes we'll have to use a couple of mercs as decoys, but they're what allow us to win battles like this. And with many loans and lots of mercs, eventually you'll just have to deal the killing blow. Just like that. Okay, not gonna lie, I sounded really confident there, but I had zero confidence that I was actually gonna win that battle. That was basically just pure luck and the fact that I managed to pick up like a 4-4 general on a merc stack, so yeah, outcome may vary. I mean, just look at me, I'm literally taking out a loan every single month. Okay, lost a merc stack there, but we're otherwise sort of okay. A little traumatized from that, but not terrible. What I should try to do right now is deal with the enemies that are plaguing Brandenburg, and try to siege down this one capital over here. In fact, if I just walk over to Lüneburg, I'm sure we can get them out right now. Well, that was easy. Well, that certainly wasn't one of my finest decisions there, but it looks like somehow in the end it worked out. That was also pure luck, by the way. Okay, now we can also get Volgast out for full money and war reps. Maybe an alliance as well. And rip. Oh shoot, I really hope Brandenburg doesn't actually try and siege that because I kind of need it, you know, a little bit. And there's basically one way to guarantee that I get this land, and that's to take it in the peace deal. Sorry Brandenburg, but you just weren't that useful to me. So I'm going to need a little bit more admin before I can, core this whole thing. Once I do, I can form Silesia. So we'll be a little bit behind by like maybe 6 months compared to where I could have been if I had enough admin. So what you should do is probably, instead of focusing on mill, since the war will finish before you even grab Tech 4, you should probably focus on admin or just not touch it at all. So there you have it, forming Silesia in, about 6 years. I mean, there's nothing too particularly interesting about forming Silesia. It's sort of just a name change because you don't get any new missions, and your ideas are already Silesian, so you're not really getting anything new here, but it is a short formable, so there it is. I'm more surprised by the fact that I was able to win that war against Bohemia. I kind of went into the war wondering how I was going to win it, and I left the war wondering how I won it, but I guess 23 loans could have, had something to do with that. Thank you very much for watching this episode of EU4 Speedforming Minis. I'm sorry that the 25k video is taking a little while to get done, but it is certainly the most ambitious thing that I've done so far, so it's taking a little while longer to figure out the best strategy and to actually have it work properly. But I think you guys will really like it when it's done, so look forward to it. But if you enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, leave a dislike if you disliked it, and let me know which nations you would like to see me speedform next. This is Quarbit signing off, and as always, have a fantastic day. Massive thank you to the kind people supporting me over on Patreon this month, especially those we have in the general tier: Quiet Guy, Brendan Arsenault, Ben Greenhagen, Torvalft, Dire Avenger, and Farron. Those in the Prince tier: Rockbox 2020, Robert Kaleno, and Bouncer Steve. In the King tier we have Chubishoot, Natsuki, and Snowraven. In the Elector tier we have TFLJ Martus. And in the Conqueror of Worlds tier, as always, we have The Watcher. Thank you guys very much for your pledges this month, and I truly do appreciate them.